What's up, YouTube? Just want to do a quick video on my rear rotor. This is the new rear rotor install that I did. The difference between this one and the stock one is basically not only for looks, if you want something that's a little bit more stylish than what the stock one has, but it also saves weight. And of course, because you don't have, you don't have all of this real estate here covered with portions of the rotor. So they use that for it to be lightweight. So the reason why that I got this wasn't necessarily for the performance, but mainly for the styling and the weight. And what I mean by performance is, do they, stop on a dime, things like that, which this obviously doesn't. It's actually doesn't give you as much stopping power as the standard rear rotor that it comes with. So, and you can tell right away when you hit the brakes or you hit the rear brake on this, you got to press down a little bit harder. And of course, because there's not a lot of room for the brake pads to push. So every time that it goes to stop, it's going to skip that part and hit this part right here, obviously. And so you have this part here on the top, this part on the bottom, this part, which is what would normally be filled in on the stock rotor, it's empty there. So when this squeezes, it takes a lot more time for it to slow you down. The good news is though, you got front brakes. So that's the whole purpose of the front brakes too. And of course you've got not only one on this side, but you've got one on the other side right there too. And of course, you're using your fronts more than you are your rears anyway. Yeah, so that's all I got to say about that. But that's it right there, which is the rear rotor. I did get this on Moto Million, and I got them with the titanium bolts. So these are the titanium bolts. And this was installed when I got my tires. So I needed some new tires. I wasn't sure which ones to get. Actually, the ones that I was looking for were the Q4s, or I'm sorry, the Q3s, or Q3 Pluses, but the Q3 Pluses, they don't make those in a size 200. And on the rear, it only goes up to 190 for the Q3 Pluses. And I didn't want to get the 190 if this came out of the factory, from the dealership in a size 200. I'm sure that there's probably nothing wrong with the 190, but if it came with 200, might as well keep the size 200 rear. I don't want it to mess with the geometry on the bike itself. So then what I did is I said, well, maybe not the Q300s, let me get the Q4s, the Dunlop Q4s. And the Q4s, those ones come in a 200. So I was gonna get those, but then they said that it was like mid-October-ish that they would start to come in. And then of course I couldn't wait that long. So I got these. These ones are the Pirelli Diablo Rosso IVs. And I've only ridden one time, basically from LA to San Diego. And that was it. I haven't had a chance to take off on the motorcycle again because I'm actually going to be taking off this weekend, going somewhere else. So I still have yet to, fully try these out, but it did get some good reviews. So I like the reviews that it came out with. You don't have to get tire warmers. It's a good street/track tire. It's got 3 different sets of compound on it. So I don't know how I feel about them, but they are better than my Metzlers. I think that's what they're called, Metzlers. Those are the ones that come with the BMW bike. I got 3,200 miles off of those. So 3,200 miles, and then I needed tires bad. So these are the ones that I have now. And of course, it just depends how you ride. I have a buddy who goes through tires every 2,000 miles, and then I have some that go through tires every 8,000 to 7,000. It all just depends. But point of interest, what I did hear through the grapevine though, is the reason why the Q4s are taking a while to get ordered is not because of the delayment in shipment, but because they already came out with the Q5. So they came out with the Q5 and the Q5S. And I guess they've been selling those overseas, and they're just going to hit the American market pretty soon. So hopefully we'll start to see the Q5s and to read about them and see what's the difference between those tires than you know, the Q4s. So the Q4s and the Q3s, those are different. They're not, the Q4 is not made to take over, or it's not the newest version of the Q3. The Q3 has its own things that it is used for what that does, and then a separate lineup, which is the Q4. But I believe the Q5 is a replacement for the Q4, if that makes any sense, you guys. Anyway, just thought I'd make this quick little video, basically just explaining the tires. This one's the front one. So this is the front Pirelli Diablo Rosso IV. Got that one in the front. Brand spanking new. Can't wait to start putting some miles on this sucker. And then right here, Diablo Rosso IV for the rear tire. And let's see here, there it is, 200. So 255, I think it's a C17 or something like that, but there it is. Thanks for watching.